Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to talk to you about the GODOX SL60W, which is the studio light that I use, and I've been using it now since about August last year. And I kind of want to talk to you about it today because I think it's a really good sort of like budget option, I guess, studio light if you want to sort of start upping your lighting game, so to speak, especially when you look at the competition out there from Aperture and all that sort of stuff. Now, I actually haven't used any of the Aperture studio lights like the Aperture 120D and the new Amaran 100D, but I actually think that gives me a good sort of grasp on this studio light because I think when you purchase something budget, there's always something in the back of your mind where it's just like, okay, one day I'll upgrade. It's good for now. Honestly, I don't think that at all about the GODOX SL60W. I think it's great. I don't feel the need to upgrade. So let's break it down. So the GODOX SL60W comes in at $120 US. That's on Amazon. The link will be the top line of the description if you want to check it out. And $120 is actually a really good price for this kind of light. The Aperture 100D, which actually wasn't really available when I purchased this back in mid last year, comes in at $200 for the similar specs. The 120D and above, they're just crazy expensive. So that's why I picked this one up, $120 for the studio light. So what do you get for the $120? So you get the light, you don't get a stand or a softbox. That's pretty sort of standard with studio lights, that sort of stuff comes separate. And I think this entire kit that I got still came in under $200 through Amazon. I think when you like click on the light and all that sort of stuff, it gives you that option, you know, when it's like, hey, add these two to your package to save a bit of money. So that's what I did here. The softbox, I'm not gonna recommend. The light stand is fine, but we're talking about the light. So the GODOX SL60W, obviously 60W, so it's a 60 watt light and it gets pretty bright. So this is currently at 50%. And what's cool about this light, it does come with this remote. So, you know, you can just sort of turn it on and off, and then you control the brightness. So I'm just gonna bump the brightness right up. You can see it gets pretty bright there. So that's 100% brightness, probably a bit too much, starting to blow out over here. So we're gonna drop it right back down. Now the downside to the remote is I just have to keep clicking this. I can't click and hold, which is super annoying. So click, 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 click. The light is daylight balanced, so it can go anywhere from I think 3100 Kelvin to 5600 Kelvin. So it sort of goes up and down through that, which is pretty much what you want for inside lighting anyway. Now, noise-wise, it's a little loud. I've got a lav mic on, you're not gonna notice it. If you have a boom, like a shotgun mic on top of your camera, you're definitely not gonna notice it, but it's not silent, right? It is pretty loud. In terms of like how it works, it doesn't have a battery. So I know a lot of the Aperture products do have like inbuilt batteries, so you can just power them out, away from mains. This doesn't have that. I'm pretty sure you can get like an extension for it. I don't have that. I just plug it into the mains, not a big deal. The back of the light, you have just a couple of simple buttons to switch channels so that you can control, obviously you want, if you got multiple lights on different channels, then you could do that, I guess. And then like a little twisty knob, which allows you to control the Kelvin and then the brightness of the light, and then an on-off switch. Something to know as well is if you do turn it off with the remote, it doesn't actually turn the light fully off, right? Because you're not killing the power by turning that physical off switch off, I guess. And so it does still make a little bit of a hum. It definitely is a lot quieter, but there's still electricity running through it so that you can turn it off and on at a moment's notice. So that's something to keep in mind. Another thing, I guess, is the biggest downside to the light, other than the fact, you know, other than that, I really like it. If at any point you decide to sort of adjust the brightness on the back of the light independently of the remote, then you have to get the remote to the same number back of the light before you can sort of sync them together. So if the remote is on 50% and then you adjust that to 100%, you need to adjust this down to 50 with the knob on the back before you can use the remote. Minor annoyances, honestly, I don't really use the remote all that much because I bring the light out here, turn it on, and sort of set it up that way. But the reason we're showing you this is because I think it's a really good, I want to say budget option. $120 is still a bit of money for people out there, but if you want to get a studio light set up, I feel like there's no reason to spend any more than this because I have no issues with it whatsoever, apart from those small little ones I literally just mentioned, and it works really well for what I want it to do. Now, I don't recommend the softbox that I got, but if I was to get one, I probably would get the Aperture softbox because it collapses really easily. This one is an absolute pain, and I would pay the extra just to make that a bit easier, but this is fine. It literally just stays up the whole time. That's sort of it for the video, I guess. You know, $120 for a studio light is pretty good. If you want to check it out, it will be in the description below. If you enjoy these sorts of video, guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. See ya.